The New York Islanders fall to the Carolina Hurricanes 4-0 in a game that can only be described as disappointing. Hoping for a better result tonight. Knew we were in tough going up against Carolina as they're one of the toughest teams in the NHL, at least during the regular season, especially for the last, let's say, 8 years or so. We beat them last time, so that's what gave me hope going into this game tonight that we possibly might be able to do it again. And with our players returning, I was hoping that would happen. It didn't happen. It ended up in a 4-0 drubbing of the Islanders by the Canes, and it was not as bad as it looked. This is not a game of participation medals and things like that, but it was more of a game like we probably should have lost. We definitely should have lost this game, but we probably should have lost 4-2 or 4-3, something along those lines. But our lack of finish reared its ugly head, and a very hot goaltender also happened tonight. I was talking with someone on the message board, and he made a quote from Patrick Roy that said, "We make goaltenders look good." Well, I am a big believer of that. We've seen second string sub goaltenders come in for the last 10, 15 years and look like superstars against us. But I gotta give Kachenkov his flowers tonight. He made some outstanding saves. So you combine the Islanders, a team that has to score by committee against a hot goaltender, and we pretty much got what we got tonight. And just some sloppy play to give up some goals, and just we shot ourselves in the foot. We shot ourselves in the foot. We didn't help ourselves out, and the result was 4-0 for the Canes. So for the eighth time in a row, the Islanders give up the first goal of the game, and once again, it's on the power play. 1-0 Canes. We can't we can't go game in and game out giving 1 to 2 power play goals a game, and we are. And the worst part about it is we're not doing it like them scoring 2 for 7 on the power play. They're doing it in 2 goals in 3 attempts, 1 goal in 2 attempts, 2 goals in 2 attempts, and we just can't have that. And so for the eighth straight game, we go behind the eight ball because the PK lets us down once again. And it only took 20 seconds to get it done. It's ridiculous how much I could fix this this penalty killing in a heartbeat. It's so simple to do right now. It really is. Well, for starters, we have to change our complete system and catch up with the Joneses in the NHL of how to run a successful PK, and that's high pressure. All the successful power plays succeed on high pressure. The only way to score against a high pressured PK is the power play has to be perfect. And I mean perfect. If you've got guys jumping on them the way like Carolina has done to us, so many other teams have done to us on the PK and pressure us, you're going to improve on the PK, but we are the most passive PK I think I've ever seen. It's just like no pressure, no pressure at all. And it shows in the results. I mean, it's not rocket science, guys. Guys at the top, Lou, Patrick, you guys should be figuring this out. What we're doing now does not work, will never work anymore in the way of today's NHL game. So let's keep up with the Joneses and actually put a PK out there that can actually be effective. Start putting players like Matt Barzell on the PK. I've been pounding this drum for 6, 7 years now about putting Barzell on the PK. You need to have the speedy, talented guys. You guys got Marner playing on the PK. Jack Hughes is playing on the PK. So many small, crafty superstar hockey players are playing on the PK, and they're racking up points on the PK as well. Not only are they defending it, but they're actually a huge threat. So, okay, enough of a rant of that. So, but it wasn't good enough for us to come away with a 1-0 deficit. We're going to make it 2-0. And it could be on more two worst defensive plays. Like, I don't know what Pellick was thinking on that first goal from Svechnikov. He just let him walk in. And I will own that goal also on Sorokin. For starters, it should have never gotten shot. He should never have been able to walk in like that. I mean, Pollock actually left the spot to let him walk in and went for the guy who didn't have a puck. And he was, it was just a horrible play. And then Sorokin really should have stopped that puck. It wasn't a difficult one, but that's the only one of four that Sorokin even had a shot at tonight. So, very disappointing on our defense. And then the second one, Dobson and Romanov getting split like that. Like, come on, guys. Jordan Martinook from who was it? Jordan Stahl. So 2-0, and at that point you realize, oh, we're in for one of those games, are you? Are we? We're at the 8 minute mark, and it's 2-0 Carolina, and you just kind of go, oh, great. How I was thinking along the lines of 8-2 or something along that at that point, but yeah. So anyway, it's a horrible start, and the Islanders respond. That's the worst part about it. Like they played. They after it was 2-0, they actually played pretty good for the rest of that game. But you can't go parts of the game and just give away parts of the game and say, okay, well, we're not going to compete for 10 minutes of every game, and you guys can take a huge advantage of us during that 10 minutes and rack up like 3, 4 goals if you want. So we need to stop doing that all the time. So once again, Islanders heads are hanging, going to the dressing room, down 2-0 on the road. It's not looking good. Not looking good at all. Even though, like I said, our play was solid, but you combine it with the hot goaltender and scoring by committee, our guys just not having very much finish, and that's a result we'll walk away from in that period. And starting in that period after it went 2-0, we went 17 minutes without giving Carolina a shot on net. Carolina just usually gets 40 shots on net a game. They're always tossing pucks from everywhere. And not tonight they weren't. We were really playing well, but no finish. So it stays 2-0 for quite some time. And we're into the second period. Now we're getting to the midway point. And Tyson Jost scores from Gostisbehere and Roslovic. And my Lord, Ilya just had no hope on that one. I mean, like he stops the first two. Yost bats the third one out of the air. What more is Sorokin supposed to do? Like, come on, defense, you gotta help out your goaltender. And it's just like, okay, so we had all the momentum, and poof, just like that, there it goes. It was gone. And it was about 20 solid minutes of momentum we had going for us, and but couldn't score a goal, and now we're down 3-0. And then an unbelievable 2-on-1 that Ilya just had zero chances on Sebastian Aho from Robinson and Slavin. There's zero hope on that one. So we're down 4-0. That was a late period goal. Nothing surprising there, as the Islanders have a tendency of giving those up all the time. So we're going into the third period, 4-0. I'm on the message boards talking to the boys, and I said, this for sure will be the period that we don't give up a goal in the third period when it doesn't matter. And sure enough, that's exactly what we did. And coming into the third period, in comes Hogberg. And congratulations to Hoberg. Like I said, had a great preseason. That's back-to-back third periods that Hoberg hasn't given up a goal. So I'm trying to think. I think that's the only action he's had. And if he is after 2 periods of play, and both of them being third periods, he's pitching a shutout. So well done by Hoberg coming into it. So there you have it, 4-0. We lose, and now we are toiling in obscurity down around the bottom with the other hapless New York team, the Rangers. We're tied with the Rangers. We're in 12th place. They're in 11th place because they got games in hand on us, but neither New York team in the playoffs right now. So it's a long season to go, and I think the thing that I'm starting to realize tonight is that you can't just wish for your players to come back, you have to realize it's going to take 4 or 5 games for them to get into the swing of things again. It's not, sometimes some guys come back from injuries miraculously. I think I had really high expectations for Matt Barzell, but then I had to take a step back and realize, my God, he was out 21 games. He basically played 10 games. And that's just starting to get into the season. So it's almost like Matt is starting the season for the first time in game 30 while everybody's they're all in top notch. This is probably the when you're feeling your best around game 30 in the season because the injuries aren't quite as bad. You still got all the energy. So yeah, for him to step into that kind of atmosphere it's tough and it's noticeable. You can see the rust on him like that. So it's going to take a while for us to get our guys back together again. No chance of my giving up on this season. Like the division we were in, the conference that we were in is so mediocre, and all it'll take is a 5 game winning streak, something like that, and boom, you're back in it. So in no way I'm giving up hope yet. And like I said, that's 2 games now for Barzell under the belt and Pellick as well. Like, geez, I don't know what Pellick was thinking tonight. That was just so unlike Pellick on that first goal. Uh, yeah, that was such a shame. So anyway, let's talk about the players now. And so I thought Max had a fairly good game. There was a lot of little plays that he made, real nice. Just not his greatest game, but he was getting tossed around on some not so great lines tonight. So normally I always say whatever line Max goes to automatically becomes the best line, but that just didn't happen tonight because of the people that he was with just weren't working with him very well tonight. He and every once in a while the lines were getting mixed mashed, and every once in a while he'd end up with a Horvat or something, and he would make a nice play and make something happen. Every time any any type of real caliber player went with Max, he was making some things happen. So, like I said, not his best game, but not a bad one either. Pretty much the whole team was -1. Max wasn't, so that's in his favor. And we did have 2 players who were -2, and that would of course be Dobson and Romanoff. So all 3 lines gave up a goal tonight. So we basically had 15 guys with a -1 tonight. Well, 13 guys because Dobson and Romanoff double dipped. So there's that. Holmstrom, I thought he was okay tonight. I just thought he was okay tonight. He played a solid defensive game. I can pretty much say that about Simon pretty much almost every game, even when he doesn't really have a good game. At least he's doing the other little things right, like the defensive side of the game. So that's a feather in the cap for Simon. It's nice to see great defensive style like that. Barzy, oh, he's having a tough comeback here. He's just not even close to being up to speed with everybody else. You can see it. Like, I mean, his biggest weapon is his speed, and he's just not as fast as everybody right now. Everybody else is faster than him. Yeah, so it's going to take a few games for Barzy to get into it. In the first game, his passing was way out of sync. Tonight, his passing was better, but he kind of looked like a little bit of a lost puppy out there tonight because I don't think he's used to playing being behind the play. He's actually kind of used to playing ahead of the play. Like sometimes he's too far ahead of the play that the players around him, it doesn't work for them because Matt's a step ahead. But right now, Matt's a step behind. I think he's having a hard time dealing with it. He looks a little lost out there. But I'm not going to come down too hard on Matt because I know it's only a matter of time till he picks up his game. I thought Bo Horvat was one of the better Islanders tonight. He had lots of chances, lots of chances. I should say, Barzy and Bo, the both of them having 4 shots on net. So they were our best line tonight, but I still thought they were kind of out of sync. I really did. And the lines got tossed around a little bit there too at the end, so it was kind of hard to tell what was going on out there with the lines. Engvall, I just, it was for him, it was okay for him, but he just brought Nelson and Paul Mary down tonight. Both Nelson and Paul Mary were absolutely unnoticeable all night long, and big reason of that is Pierre Engvall. It's Pierre is where offense goes to die. It's just like plays stop and they end and stuff like that. It's great to see him flashing around the ice with his speed and whatnot, but if plays go to him to die, that's not a good thing, and it doesn't help out his line mates. So. Not really super happy with Engvall tonight. When am I? Well, 5 game stretch I was. That's about it. Fashing, I thought he was noticeable tonight, which just goes to show you that he should be playing over Martin. I know Martin didn't play tonight, but I know that he's going to come out. Martin's going to come back in until he gets those 1,000 games. So I still believe a guy like Foodie is good enough to be on our team over a Matt Martin too, or at least Goche. I know what Goche can do, and sure he might have a few wars, but not near as much as Matt. And I think that could make us a faster and better team. And we really need to shore up our third and fourth lines right now. That's where we're really hurting, really hurting. Like I said about Kyle Palmieri, I thought he was absolutely unnoticeable tonight. One shot on net, but just didn't see him engaged like I normally see Palms engaged. And I really think Engvall had a lot to do with that. Anders Lee, man, he had a couple of really good scoring chances against tonight. I thought Anders was actually pretty good tonight. He had a deflection goal that or a deflection shot on net that, one of them high deflections from the slot that 6 times out of 10 goes in the net, but not this time for Anders. It was right on net, but just didn't find the hole. It was a beauty. And then at the end of the game, Anders made Kochenkov look good and shot the puck into his glove. So just no finish for our Islanders tonight. But overall, I thought Anders did fairly well in the game. Brock, I already kind of talked about him a little bit. I just thought he was unnoticeable once again. Not to harp on the situation, but I think Engvall had a lot to do with that. But still, Brock's the type of player that needs to be able to at least elevate a little bit, even with a guy like Engvall on your line. He still has palms to work with on his line. So you just got to raise your level. And I don't think neither Brock nor Palms rose their level tonight. So add that on with Engvall there, and it's not a good combination. Kyle McLean, I thought was one of his better games tonight. I saw the effort there. I saw a lot of effort too when we were down 4-0. I look for, I know coaches look for that, and I look for it too. I like to see who's out there in a blowout, who's still working their butt off. And I would give Kyle McLean a gold star tonight for that because that's when he almost seemed like he was working harder once it was 4-0 than it was before it was 4-0. Not that he was, but he just stuck out to me as one of the Islanders who is really still busting his butt out there being down 4-0. Casey Cizikas, once again, I still think he just kind of he's just he's deteriorating right in front of our very eyes, and his ice time once again shows it with only 10 minutes of ice time. So, um, yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, like even Kyle McLean's get more ice time, and that is absolutely 100% justified. So, but Casey is turning into a problem. The only place where I see that maybe Casey won't hurt us too bad is once we get everybody back with Declare, and that is put Casey on the fourth line, no Martin, give him like a Goche and a Fashing, or a Foodie and a Fashing, or a Foodie and a Goche, something like that along those lines. And I think Casey that might and then Casey knows just to go back to his old game of how he played. He's not a guy that we expect to score goals or anything like that. So I think that's about the only place we will be able to capitalize on Casey this year. Anytime we have to move him up to the third line, that's not a good situation for the Islanders. Adam Pellick, I already talked about him tonight on that first goal, and that was big time disappointing. But once again, I have to realize that him and Barzy are going through that long, long layoff of 21 games. So, and plus playing with a bubble on his head, I had to do that once. Well, not a bubble, but I actually had to wear a visor. So I'd never worn a visor before. So it really distracts you if you're not used to it. So I imagine that bubble would be just even worse. I did play some rec hockey later, like in my 40s, where I had to wear a full cage thing, and I just felt it was so heavy. I felt like my head kept tilting over. If you're not used to it, it's very annoying, and that probably didn't help out Adam at all wearing that full face gear. Pullock, basically the same old thing at Orion tonight. For some reason, he only got 19 minutes of ice time, but he had zeros across the board, and not a whole lot of Islanders had an even tonight in a 4-0 game. But you can always count on Ryan Pullock to be playing solid defense out there, and he tried to participate in the offense a little bit as well. Dobson -2, just unsat, not good enough. 23 minutes of ice time. I'm not even sure you deserve that much ice time, but just not good enough. Yeah, not good enough on the defensive side of the puck. He's not good enough on the offensive side of the puck. The only difference is that we know he can be good enough on the offensive side of the puck. We don't know if he can be good enough on the defensive side of the puck because we've never really seen it. So, Noah, I mean, get angry, man. Do something, but play defense. Scott Mayfield, his ice time was up tonight. He was an even as well. So, once again, Patrick warding your play with ice time, which is really nice to see. And Scott just continues to do his job like a warrior. And I saw him make a couple of breakouts tonight where he was just battling guys off, and it was just like, go, Scott, go. You warrior. I mean, he didn't look pretty doing it, but man, he just chugged his way out of the zone and got that puck out of there for us. Shalonsky, once again, I thought he had a pretty good game. He had one really bad gaff. Other than that, for what you can expect out of Dennis Cholowski, I think we're getting our bang for our buck. I really do. I think he's kind of, for me at least, exceeding expectations a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I'd still be much happier with Mike Riley back in there, but overall, I'm not really displeased with him at all. Alexander Romanov, not his best night, and you can tell just in the stats with one block shot and one hit, and that's just not Romanov's game. So that'll let you know right there that he wasn't engaged. He got 21 minutes of ice time, and only him and Dobby were the -2 tonight. So. That's not good enough. And if you think that one of those, they were actually on the ice for the power play goal, or at least Dobson was also on the ice for the power play goal, but that one doesn't count. So, not good enough out of that combo tonight from us for sure. I already talked about Sorokin. I thought he should have had the first one. He The other three, he didn't have a hope in hell on stopping them. So he didn't do any wonders for his save percentage tonight. And Marcus Hoberg, he came in, had a stellar third period, only got 6 shots on net, but did what he had to do. There was some in close work there for him, and he handled it no problem. That's twice now he's come in back to back third periods and put up a goose egg. So overall, pretty good by him. It's a disappointing night, just how the score played out. Uh, no, it's not like I'm surprised that we lost a game to Carolina in Carolina. I mean, they're a good team. So, like I said, the only thing that's really disappointing tonight is the scoreboard, is that we couldn't cash in on some of our chances. And it's very scary to think that these problems are going to continue to haunt us all the way along. I do believe, however, once Declare comes back, that's just enough depth to try and get the players into the right spots they're still all not in the right spots right now. I mean, the right spots will be Declare, Barzell, and Horvat together. It'll be Siplikov, Nelson, and Paul Mary together. It'll be Holmstrom, it'll be Pajot, and it'll be Lee on the third line. And then for crying out loud, don't kill the team by putting Matt Martin on the fourth line. Go with Cizikas, Goche and Fashing or Foodie, any one of those combo, or add Martin into that combo and of those four pack of guys, just rotate on an even basis. Voila. And I think once we have a lineup like that, I think we can start scoring by committee. We'll get enough opportunities that it'll make it happen. I'm not too disappointed tonight because, like I said, losing to Carolina in Carolina is not a bad thing. So uh, we're in trouble though now. We're 2 games below 500, and we're not heading into an easy game. We're going up against the Maple Leafs, and this will probably be the first time for me that this game won't mean us beating John Tavares. This game for me will be us beating the Toronto Maple Leafs for 2 points. We need 2 points, and it's going to be a tough task because Toronto's playing very well right now, and they're getting some solid goaltending. So I think we all could use the break from Islander hockey till next Saturday night. So enjoy your time and come back revved up and refreshed. And hopefully, I'm pretty sure Declare will be back by that time, and we can. Sure, we may have to plug for another 3, 4 games until those guys get up to speed, maybe 5 games or so until they get up to speed. But I really believe that we'll be there fighting for it at the end. I really do. So, anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. So, you guys and girls, y'all take care out there and peace out.